Today, we're diving into a really high-stakes turnaround plan. We're talking about an iconic British brand, Marks & Spencer, and how they're trying to win in India, which is, one of the most competitive retail markets on the entire planet. This isn't just about growing the business. For them, it's about survival and a complete reinvention.
So that's really the big question here, isn't it? M&S has this incredible 140-year heritage. But in a place like India, that's just not enough. We're talking about a market that moves at lightning speed, where price is absolutely king. And if you're not locally relevant, you're toast. So how does a legacy brand like this pivot to not just survive, but to actually win? Let's get into their playbook.
All right, so first things first, let's set the scene. You can think of this as a story of two titans. On one side, you've got a deeply established British retailer, and on the other, a market that is fundamentally changing the rules of global commerce.
So here's a quick snapshot of where M&S stands in India right now. They're positioning themselves as a mid to premium brand, really leaning on that British heritage. Their target is that urban, aspirational shopper, someone who's looking for quality and is willing to pay a little extra for it. You can find their stores in big malls, and of course, they're online. And make no mistake, this isn't some little side project. It's a huge part of their global mission, something they call Reshape for Growth.
The biggest thing M&S has going for it is its brand. That name, Marks & Spencer, carries some serious weight. For decades, it's basically been a promise of quality, of dependable, classic style. And this isn't just a feeling. It translates directly into repeat customers, especially for those core items, like the shirts and trousers that are really the backbone of their business.
But heritage alone is not going to win the game, not even close. M&S is facing four massive challenges in the Indian market. So let's really dig into the specific hurdles they've got to clear if they want to succeed. Okay, challenge number one, price. It really comes down to this fundamental mismatch. M&S operates with a global quality standard, and that means a higher price tag. But they're competing in a market that is just flooded with low-cost alternatives and is incredibly price-sensitive. You have fast fashion brands everywhere. It's a tough spot to be in.
Second, you've got the product itself. Think about it. International sizing doesn't always work perfectly for Indian body types. And those standard European fabrics, they might not be the most comfortable thing to wear in the heat and humidity. Plus, local tastes and styles demand more than just that classic British look. You have to localize. It's non-negotiable.
The third challenge is all about image, or, the brand's vibe. M&S is seen as safe, classic, dependable. All good words, right? But for younger shoppers, they're often chasing what's new, what's trendy, either from global fast fashion giants or from really exciting homegrown brands. In that world, safe doesn't always cut it. And finally, their retail model is basically a street fight. They rely on these expensive mall locations where foot traffic can be all over the place. And the competition for that prime real estate, it's absolutely fierce. They are going head-to-head, often right next door, with giants like H&M and Zara, all fighting for the very same shoppers.
Okay, so we've laid out the problems. It's a tough landscape. But what about the solution? This is where it gets interesting. M&S has put together what they believe is a winning playbook, a 5-point action plan designed to tackle every single one of these challenges.
And this is the path forward. It's not one single fix, it's a 5-pronged attack. First, localize the product. That's a no-brainer. Then, change the whole conversation around price. Instead of just endless discounts, they're going to push this idea of cost per wear. The thinking is, hey, a high-quality shirt that lasts for years is actually better value than a cheap one that falls apart. They're also getting way smarter about where they sell, how they reward their customers, and who they partner with. This is a complete overhaul.
Let's just zoom in for a second on that place strategy. They're ditching the one-size-fits-all model. Instead, they're planning 3 very different types of stores. You'll have the big, experience-focused flagships in major spots, then smaller, super convenient city kiosks for busy areas, and finally, outlet stores to smartly handle their inventory. It's just a much more agile and cost-effective way to operate.
Look, a great plan on paper is one thing, but making it happen? That's the real test, isn't it? So, how does this playbook actually translate from a slide deck into real action on the ground?
Well, they're not wasting any time. Take a look at the first 90 days. This is all about high-impact moves. Within the first month, boom, a made-for-India pilot collection is in stores and online.
By month 2, they're testing a new loyalty program, and by month 3, they're jumping on the festival season with gift bundles and expanding their reach through other marketplaces. This is all about moving fast and learning even faster.
Okay, so all of this is happening, and it's happening fast. But that begs the biggest question of all. With all these changes, how do you actually know if it's working? How do you measure success?
Well, you've got to track the right stuff. We're talking about looking beyond just the total revenue number. For instance, that markdown rate, that's critical. It tells you if they're cracking that price challenge. Are people buying things at full price, or are they falling back into the discount trap? Loyalty signups tell you if they're building a real community. These are the numbers that tell the real story of whether this turnaround is actually taking hold.
All right, we've gone through the challenges, the playbook, the execution. So what's the big takeaway here? What is the ultimate path to victory for Marks & Spencer in India?
You know, it all really boils down to this one idea. Winning sustainably isn't about some single magic bullet. It's the combination of everything. A product that's actually made for India, smarter stores, and a loyalty program that's powered by data. And the most important part? Doing all of that while having the discipline to protect the brand and avoid that trap of constant heavy discounts.
And so, I'll leave you with this final thought. The challenges are huge, for sure, but the playbook is solid. Marks & Spencer seems to have the right blueprint. Now it all comes down to execution. Can this British classic truly transform itself and become an Indian essential? Well, the market is going to be the ultimate judge.